God, it's been a hot minute. Kingsman Secret Service. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. I've been putting off this video for a while because I've been having trouble finding where to stream this movie. I don't want to pay $4 for this shit. Kingsman's got to be one of the most interesting movies I think I've ever seen. Not because of like anything character-wise. The characters are okay. Like, they're not bad at all. Anything technical, Kingsman nails. I got a lot of things I want to say about this movie, so I'm just gonna go ahead and jump into it. But if you aren't subscribed already, make sure to hit the subscribe button. This one's gonna be similar to how I did the Scary Movie review, just because it's more of an adult movie. But let me just jump right into it.
If you save the world, we can do it in the asshole.
So the plot of this movie is very simple. Bunch of British guys recruit Eggsy, who is kind of a delinquent of some sorts, and they save the world. That's pretty much all you really need to know. Plot itself is okay. Kind of generic for a spy movie, but I think it does a really good job setting up all these character dynamics, setting up all these locations. Made London look like a fucking colorful place. When do you ever see that? Maybe we want to go to a tailor. Valentine's plan. His plan fucking sucks. His plan is so bad. He convinces all these dumbass idiots to get implants in their necks. Like the implants will cause everybody to go into a rage. He kidnaps like 300 fucking famous people. And nobody notices. Nobody. These are celebrities. You're telling me that not one person's like, gee, I miss Ryan Reynolds. Where the fuck has he been the last few months? I'm pretty sure one of them was a princess. And nobody gave a shit. Oh well, I guess they're gone forever. The Kingsman's plan to stop it is equally as stupid. So what they initially do is they sneak Eggsy in as this guy named Arthur, and they use like his key card and everything, and they sneak him in. And I'll tell you why this is dumb. There's no photo ID for Arthur. You're telling me that the guy who kidnapped 300 famous people, that guy who's like a tech-savvy wizard, couldn't even like invest in photo ID? Oh, don't even get me started on the ending of the movie. Everybody's cheering and happy, and they're like, yeah, we saved all these people. No, you didn't. You should have been quicker. You know why? Because millions of people are now dead. Nobody really wins in this movie. The good guys don't exactly win. Humanity suffers. The villain dies, so it's not like he wins either. Nobody wins. One last thing before I move on to the characters. Harry, in a scene that we'll get to. Harry, he's like the mentor of Eggsy. He gets shot in the face, and the next movie completely fucks this up. I'm not gonna spoil anything that happens, so I'll just move on.
Manners maketh man.
This movie actually has a lot of different characters. I'm gonna focus on mainly a couple here. Eggsy is a pretty funny guy. He's very arrogant. Like I said, he's mischievous. He's got some pretty good one-liners in there. He grows up in a terrible household where his mom only dates like douchebags. He's arrogant, but he's also kind of wimpy because like his stepdad's got these goons and they constantly like pick fights with Eggsy. I don't really think Eggsy goes through much character development through this at all. He's just not an asshole anymore, I guess. He learns not to kill a puppy. Harry's probably my favorite character of the whole thing. He starts out being a badass and he ends out being a badass too. It's a shame they really had to do him dirty. He's pretty funny. Like if you think of a charming British guy, he probably fits your narrative. He's a very good mentor. He keeps Eggsy on the right track, even though he sucks at picking agents, because I'm pretty sure like half of the ones he picked either turned evil or died. Roxy's very uninteresting. Like a lot of these characters aren't very interesting and they don't get fleshed out till the next movie. Merlin's someone who doesn't get like fleshed out at all until the next movie. He's a big help to Eggsy, especially near the end. Arthur's not too bad of a character either. Arthur was a bit of an asshole through the whole movie. He told Eggsy to go shoot a dog, and when he didn't do it, he was like, well, at least the girl has got balls. Well, part of that was a part of this spy training. To be a spy, you have to be heartless. What? Arthur turns out to be a bad guy in the end, and that's how Eggsy gets his bad. We got Gazelle, who's the henchwoman of Valentine. Doesn't really say much. Is a badass, though. She is just a nothing character. But then we get to Valentine. So normally I like Samuel Jackson monologues, and he has one, I think he has one with Harry or with Eggsy, but it's like doing the voice and it sounds so stupid compared to like his former monologues that he's done. I think his character is the most well written out of everybody. You find yourself agreeing with what he's saying, but you know damn well that his execution is going to be terrible. His reasoning's pretty good, but then his conclusion is, so let's just blow up everybody. Like, no. No, that's not how it works. Alright, I think I've talked enough about the characters. Let's get to my likes and dislikes. I have a lot of dislikes, so let's start with the positives here. So let's start out with probably the best scene of this whole movie. This church scene is probably one of the greatest fighting scenes I think I've ever seen in my life. It's gory, it's action-packed. I'm pretty sure it's all one cut too, so it looks fucking amazing. The Samuel Jackson monologue, even though he's got a list through it, is pretty good. I always appreciate a good Samuel Jackson monologue. The set design for this movie is fucking awesome. Like I said, they made London look good. It reminded me how Scott Pilgrim looked. Pretty unique to the style that this movie was going with. The soundtrack is pretty good too. Alright, now let's get to my list of dislikes. Most of my dislikes don't have anything to do with the actual like filming of this movie. It has to do with the plot. No matter how good this movie is, I think the plot is probably the weakest point of this movie. First thing I noticed like right away is that the Kingsmen do a terrible job keeping their secret. Like one of the most classic scenes of this movie is the bar scene where Harry beats up a bunch of guys in a bar. Amnesia darts one of them and then leaves the others unconscious. What's the point of giving him amnesia if you're just gonna leave everybody else? How many other situations have they been in where this shit has happened? Fuck, and even let's go back to that church scene. You know how many dead bodies are in that church? They didn't have families. None of them. You know how many people would have gone missing in that community? Like, there's no consequences to what Harry did either. They're just kind of like, oh well, I guess all those people just died. It's not too big of a deal there. The recruitment process. Oh my god, Kingsmen have the worst recruiting process I've ever seen. Every test is just them trying to kill some innocent people. Not only is it psychologically just horrifying, but physically exhausting. Hell, if Eggsy didn't listen, or hell, if anybody else didn't listen with Eggsy and they tried to break the glass, what if the glass didn't break? You know how many people would have just drowned there? Oh, and then there's the skydiving scene where they tell them that one of their parachutes doesn't open. But what if someone believes it and they're just like, well, I guess I'm fucked. I'm gonna sit here and die now. One of the next tests is a fucking train. Hell, and they go through this process of like 15 people and only come out with 2. God, like, what was the point of, like, couldn't you just train all of them? I have only 2 other minor complaints. One of them I already got to with Valentine's Plan. And the only other thing that like mainly sticks out to me is sometimes the effects look really shitty. Fucking Gazelle, any action scene that she's in looks fake as fuck. Holy fuck! Kingsman's not a perfect movie. It's a really good movie. This is probably one of the better contenders that I've seen so far. Thank you guys for giving me a good movie this time. This suggestion was made by my good friend Slupper. Alright, I'm gonna start with my rating first. My rating of this movie, this is a solid 8. For sure. Like, the plot's a bit messy. Like, everything else about the movie kicks ass. Literally everything else about the movie. Write something down and it kicks ass. So now we move on to King of the Hill. So for those of you guys that don't know what King of the Hill is, King of the Hill is where I rank best movie that I've seen so far in these reviews, and I pin it up against the movie I'm currently reviewing, and I see what's the best movie that I've reviewed. Current King of the Hill is Scott Pilgrim vs. the World. And this one's been on a streak for quite a while. Is Kingsman a better movie and Scott Pilgrim vs. the World? Personally, for me, this could go either way. I think it's up to your general preference, but for me, personally, I think I would rather watch Kingsman over Scott Pilgrim vs. the World. Kingsman is the new King of the Hill. So that's going to be the end of this video, guys. If you have stuck around for this long, please give a subscribe if you haven't already. We do a lot of other shit on this channel too. We do Beat Gaming is our big one. Check out any other reviews that we've done too. We've done TV review. I have a lot of movie reviews. You can go back and look through those. And I will say the next movie review is going to be Ice Age. But yeah, we also have a Twitch. So go check that out too, Shep Bandicoot on Twitch. If you guys want to be a part of voting for the next movie review, go to @Shep Bandicoot Clips on Instagram. That's where we do the voting. Or you can join the new Discord. It's in the description. Join through there. Get us to 500 subs before the end of the year, please. Alright, I'm done pushing you guys' buttons. My teeth are hurting. I got my wisdom teeth out, so they're pretty bruised up right now. I'm gonna take a bunch of opioids. Thank you all for watching.